Hello, and welcome to All Things Workout, ATW. I'm Jen.
And I'm Pierre.
And today we have a very special guest to discuss CBD oil. This is a hot topic in the fitness industry and beyond, and we're super excited to bring this to you.
Welcome, Rico. Tell us about yourself.
Well, my name is Rico Martinez. I'm a CBD and cannabis advocate, enthusiast, and connoisseur. I have quite a bit of experience with it. I use it on a regular basis myself for pain. I have some back stuff. I actually use it for sleeping as well. And then I have some friends and family that use it on a regular basis for some other things that we'll get into a little bit later. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of come on here and share my experiences and knowledge with you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank
We're
you.
so happy
Thank
to
you.
have you. This is something that we get questions about a lot in the gym and outside of the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I know that people are talking about it from babies to pets to elderly people.
Athletes,
So
everybody.
tell us about the strains of CBD oil and where they come from.
Okay, so well, to begin with, every human body has natural cannabinoid receptors in their body. CBD is a cannabinoid that is extracted from the plant cannabis. As we all know, THC is another cannabinoid as well that comes from the cannabis plant. But CBD in particular doesn't give any of the psychoactive effects that THC does. THC is what gets you high. It's what gives you the munchies. It's what gives you that kind of fuzzy feeling in your head.
Right.
CBD is geared more towards the medical ailments and illnesses that some people go through. A lot of neurological ailments, pain, sleeping disorders, things like that is what CBD actually helps with without giving you that high feeling.
Okay. So it's basically from the same plant, the marijuana plant.
Yeah.
But then it's being derived in different ways, so that there's two different strains of it, if you will.
Basically, there's multiple cannabinoids in the plant, but CBD and THC are the main ones that we're focused on, and that actually give the body those effects.
Okay, cool.
What are the side effects, Rico?
Basically, there is no proven side effects. Some of the I know through research of my own that the FDA approved product does have some noted side effects on there. I'm not familiar with what they are, but in my experience with strictly CBD extracted oil, I have not had any sort of side effects.
So as far as topically, let's talk about that, because I know a lot of people are putting it on, their joints or rubbing it as far as balms, things like that. What can you address that for us?
I love the balms. I love all the topicals are great. When I go through a heavy workout, a heavy lifting session, if I have some balm available, I'll put it on my knees, my muscles, anything that I've really hit and worked out. It's great for pain management.
Okay.
It really helps to relieve the aches and the pains that you would normally get after a workout.
It doesn't really relieve the soreness, right? It's just like pains, right?
Right. It's more of like the sharp pains that you're going to experience.
So like a tiger's balm or a
yeah,
something
similar to a tiger's
icy
balm.
hot. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Without the feeling of that ice
menthol,
and the hot.
right,
yeah.
right. So is that intra-workout or post-workout or pre-workout? What would you?
I enjoy doing it post-workout
Okay.
after
Okay.
working out,
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
on a relaxing night, when I'm kind of getting into bed and ready to lay down. I like to put it on where I need to and then go to sleep.
Any numbing sensations when you do that?
No numbing
Okay,
sensations.
cool.
It's really not a numbing feeling at all.
Okay.
It's really just a relief of the pain and the aches that you actually experience.
What about the smell?
It depends. Some products are scented. Some products are not scented. The ones that are not scented, they don't smell like anything really. The ones that are scented, of course, you're gonna have the lavender.
I'm just curious.
And the nice roses.
What kind of scent do you have? Yeah.
A lot of times, especially as instructors or personal trainers, we use visualization with a lot of our clients, you know, to say, as far as doing a squat, like how to visualize things. And of course, there's the mind-muscle engagement that you're always trying to use too. So I just wondered how that would affect your thinking process while you're lifting and methodically keeping form and everything else. But
for me, it's almost like an isolator.
Okay.
I kind of the external world almost goes away. It's almost like putting a set of headphones on.
Nice.
You know, you put your headphones on and you kind of get into your zone. That's basically what it helps me do, is to get into that zone and get that mind-body connection going.
Nice.
You know, I really feel like it helps me activate the muscles that I need to activate when they need to be activated, rather than being distracted by what's going on around me.
Right. We're in a world where we want people to be fit, we want them to be healthy, we want them to be thin. And it's always been so associated with the pothead that's fat and eating munchies and pizza and all this other stuff, you know.
The good stuff.
And now or our parents that were at Woodstock, you know. So now we're hearing though that it's gotten so much smarter, you know, and the consumer's smarter.
Yep.
So I think that's one of the main things that we want to figure out, is just how can we recommend it to where you're not taking it too far, if that makes sense, and how we can be educated about it.
Right. Well, I think again, it's very important to know that dosing is very important when it comes down to CBD or THC use.
Okay.
Whether it's same thing with alcohol. You know, same thing with alcohol. Like you say, if you have 5 glasses of wine in one night, that's not good. Now, it's the same concept with CBD and or THC.
Okay.
If you've got a group of friends who are using THC and or CBD, and you know, say they're smoking it, which is one way to ingest CBD and or THC.
Right.
You know, say they're passing around a marijuana joint. And it's very common for everybody to just pass it and puff, pass, puff, pass. That's sort of the thing, right? Well, what a lot of people that are new to that don't understand is that those people have tolerances. They've built a tolerance over the time of use. You know, they've used it for a certain amount of time, and they're used to it. Their bodies are used to it.
Right.
Mentally, they're used to it. My biggest recommendation when coming down to dosing is to start very minimally and go from there again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will they give you like directions when you take CBD oil, when you purchase it from a place?
Depending on the product, a lot of the products have specific dosage and instructions on the packaging. So it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to kind of get an idea of where to start and then go from there.
Like an example of that, Rico, most of my students will ask me, can I get that anywhere, Pierre?
The CBD,
Yeah.
Again, it's federally legalized, so you can buy it in convenience stores. You can buy it. You can buy it in what they call smoke shops, and it comes in various forms. Like you say, it comes in balms. It'll come in the vape form. It comes in edibles, drinks. Yes, all sorts of different things that you can purchase very, very easily. So one of my favorite places to shop for that thing is online.
Again, though, we're talking about CBD oil, which is different from THC.
Right.
So, getting high or taking too much of that, you're in a. I mean, explain that. I'm a little confused on that. You see what I'm saying?
So the difference between taking too much CBD and taking too much THC is very different. If you take too much THC, you can end up getting paranoid and have some sort of different psychoactive feelings.
Right.
If you take too much CBD, the worst thing that's going to happen to you is you might get a little sleepy. That's about it. There is no real side effects to taking too much CBD other than getting sleepy. So there's really nothing to worry about in terms of overdoing it. But again, just make sure that you're reading the product, doing the dosage recommendations, and starting very, very small.
Okay. Once you start using CBD and you want to stop, is there any
no physical side
ramifications
effects.
on that?
No physical side effects at all. There's no mental addiction. Every individual is different, of course. In my experience, one can be addicted to caffeine. One can have to have a cup of coffee every day.
That's right.
It's kind of the same thing with CBD,
Okay.
and even THC for some people that I know.
Yeah.
You know, it's something like, I don't have to do it. I'm not physically addicted. I don't need to, but I choose to.
Right.
And that's a very common occurrence with that sort of thing. So when it comes down to addiction, though, there is no physical ramifications. There's nothing like that. So. Yeah.
Now, what about like hemp oil? Because I use hemp oil to, like, in some like creams that I'll make or different things that I make with my daughters and stuff, and so we use that as a base, like even for soaps sometimes. Is that the same? What is hemp? Tell us what is hemp?
So hemp is generally the same thing as cannabis. Hemp is the fibers that come from the stalk of the cannabis, and I believe it can be extracted from the seeds, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I'm not too familiar with how those companies get that, but that's something that I've wondered myself.
Yeah.
You know,
because they make clothing.
Yeah,
hemp
they make clothing,
beads,
paper.
Yeah, exactly.
All sorts of
So-
different products
Yeah.
with hemp. I mean,
Okay.
and that's another thing that's a whole another industry that you
Right.
could get into. That, you know, hemp in general, it makes you can make clothes out
Yeah,
of it.
we're gonna have a hemp fitness line.
Yeah.
Coming out.
Coming in.
JTW. So we talked about it being vape, edibles, topically. Is it in pill form?
So there are pills.
Okay.
There are pill form. I actually do have quite a few people that actually do enjoy the pills. It's you know, it's kind of just the easy thing to do. Yeah, you can throw it in your vitamin jar.
I'm really excited that you're here because I have questions just pertaining to my own family. My mom has had knee issues, and even my father and mother-in-law. And this is something that we've talked about, even putting them on. And not only with like knee replacements or different ailments from just aging, but there's other aspects with, you know, Alzheimer's and different things that are going on today. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I actually have a pretty personal experience with that myself. My father actually was diagnosed with early signs of dementia. He's a career military man. Spent multiple tours over in Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan. So he's been through some stuff.
Yeah.
He's been through some stuff in his life, and again, he was, you know, unfortunately diagnosed with early signs of dementia, and that was attributed to those tours in overseas. So, you know, that being said, I looked into it a little bit. You know, did my research into what that is and what dementia is, and it's basically a degenerative neurological disease that's not fixable. It's something that over time will get worse, and basically there's nothing that science has been able to do to fix that. The only thing that has been shown and not necessarily proven, I'm not aware of any scientific facts, but it has been shown that CBD in particular helps to slow that degenerative process in the brain. So I actually personally, you know, I reached out to my father and I said, you know, is this something that you would consider doing, you know, for the families, you know, to help everybody? And of course he said yes, you know, and so he's been doing that. It's only been a couple of years now, so it's kind of hard to tell, you know, how it's helped, but he says that it's felt great. Some of his symptoms that arrived early on have kind of calmed down and dissipated. You know, he had some memory issues and some things where he would call people the wrong name, that sort of thing. And so that started to help very greatly.
Yeah.
So
How old is your father?
I want to say he's 54 now, 54. So he's still young, you know, he's still young, still got a lot of life ahead of him. So I really want to make sure that he stays on this to make sure that we can slow that process.
Definitely.
It's not something that again can be fixed.
So cannabis oil, and we already talked about how they actually do the different strains of it. Can there be an oil or something that is both? Not just CBD, not just THC, but together.
Combined together.
So there
Yes.
are companies actually out there that do different products that do contain both THC and CBD. Some people like to have the effects of the THC while still having the concentrated dose of the CBD. typically in almost any marijuana strain that you smoke or ingest or anything, you're going to have a little bit of both THC and CBD. Now, there are strains that have been developed and grown throughout the years that are specific to each cannabinoid. Some strains are specific to THC. They have a very high THC level. Some strains have a very high CBD level. There's actually companies out there that have grown marijuana plants to specifically have only CBD cannabinoids in them. So without the THC, you don't get those psychoactive effects. You only get the medicinal effects of the CBD. So there are companies that combine them and do both, but it kind of depends on your preference and what you'd like to get out of the product, whether it's medicinal or the effects of the psychoactive effects.
Well, I know a lot of the younger generation, and even like the up and coming, business world, they prefer to do that rather than drink because the after effects, you don't have a hangover.
No hangover.
You can still go and it takes the edge off. You kind of have a nice evening with friends, and rather than drinking and doing other bad things and putting toxins into your body, you're putting something healthy, if you will, into it. But where to know where you've crossed the line, that's another issue,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So,
Right.
and that's like what you were saying with a small dosage. That would be, working up to that.
Do you get a lot of athletes using that?
So I would consider myself an athlete, and I'm an avid user. I also know a lot of athletes, and I do know quite a few users. Now, throughout the professional athletic world, there actually has been an increase in usage throughout the years. Actually, the Olympic Committee has recently allowed, I believe, CBD to be present in the athlete system.
Oh wow!
So
Okay.
that's
Wow,
a new
cool.
thing.
Yeah. Okay, so now if you're on it and you've gone ahead and built up a tolerance and you have your normal protocol, and then something happens and you have to go off of it, what's it like to come off of it? Is there a?
It's pretty simple. It's really just a the willpower.
Okay.
Similar to having a cup of coffee every day, it's going to be about that. If you can imagine, well, I can't have any coffee because the doctor says I can't have caffeine. It's going to increase my heart rate. That sort of thing.
Right.
It's kind of the same thing with CBD. It's like, okay, well, I enjoy doing the CBD, but can I get off of it to benefit? If it does not benefit me, if it's hurting me in some way, it wouldn't be any harder than stopping caffeine.
Okay.
Drinking a cup of coffee every day.
So it wouldn't be like a Jekyll and Hyde or Hulk,
No,
Or
you're not
something like that,
you're not gonna go through any sort of withdrawal or anything like that. So
The incredible
Wolverine.
CBD.
You're like, yeah. So in a way, it is kind of like alcohol. I mean, there are more people that drink alcohol that probably are familiar with this. So it is kind of like, if you've never had a glass of alcohol before, you need to watch what you're doing.
Yep. Be
But,
careful.
Start with small dosage. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, gotcha.
Exactly. As far as different demographics, women. Okay, so I know that there are different female products coming out to help women with their menstrual cycles, to help with even, I think they have them in Band-Aids even, and different things like that where you can apply them to your body and help with that. So it penetrates through the skin. How does that penetration happen?
It's basically through absorption.
Okay.
Just with anything that's absorbed through the skin, like just similar to a
Regular band.
regular balm or like a
okay.
Tiger Balm or a Vicks
Okay.
Vapor Rub.
Okay.
You put it on there and you rub it in, and it kind of you'll see it kind of like it starts to dissipate.
Okay.
And basically that's just through your skin absorption.
Okay.
It's pretty simple. Once it's absorbed through the skin, your blood, of course, will circulate it through your system, and then basically that's how it gets through your system.
Okay. So Rico, thank you so much for being here. At the end of the show, whenever we have a guest on, we like to play this fun little game. It's called Pick a Stick. And it's basically just kind of to let us know something about you that maybe not everybody knows.
Personal.
And it's just kind of a fun little game that we play.
Okay.
So if you want to just pick one of these.
All right.
Don't look.
All right.
Read a
You
question.
can read it out loud.
All right, my favorite vacation spot. I'd have to say Puerto Rico.
Really?
Yeah, I actually have family in Puerto Rico. My entire dad's side of the family was raised there, so I've visited there since I was young, and it's a beautiful paradise. My family lives right off the beach, within a mile.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, it's you walk down to the beach and you can spend the entire day there. There's the jungle where you can go out into the and enjoy a natural river rock slide. There's all sorts of different zip line tours you can do. There's what's called a bioluminescent bay. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of that, but that's pretty cool. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite spots to go.
And do they have CBD out there?
You know, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. It's everywhere now.
Yeah. Well, we're super excited that you were here today. This definitely was very informative. We appreciate all
For us
that
and our
your
viewers.
time.
Well, thanks for having me. Thank you.
Again, we're not doctors, and we're just normal people that want to know what's happening and want to pay it forward. And we bring great people on the show who are very, very positive, and they're high performers as well themselves, and entrepreneurs. And we're super blessed to have you today.
Thank you, Rico.
So before you start anything, again, just make sure that you check with your physician or your doctor.
I'm Pierre.
And I'm Jen.
I hope all things work out.